You may never know that the true story of Peter Pan is much darker than you think. I am Wendy Darling. You might have heard the beautiful fairy tale about Neverland and the boy who never grows up, Peter Pan. But I am here to tell you a secret, a truth much darker than the fairy tale. It all began on a cold, windy night. A shadow appeared at my window, whispering promises of adventure and eternal youth. It lured me to Neverland, a place of magic and endless fun. I took my brothers, John and Michael, by the hand, and we flew into the night sky, following the shadow. When we arrived in Neverland, it was everything I had imagined: lush forests, sparkling waters, and the laughter of children. Peter Pan greeted us with open arms, leading us into what seemed like a carefree world. At first, everything was perfect. We went on countless adventures with the Lost Boys, fought pirates, and explored hidden caves. But gradually, I noticed unsettling things. The Lost Boys' smiles had a hollow ring to them, their eyes empty, as if their souls were missing. Peter Pan's smile grew more sinister with each passing day. One night, I was awakened by hushed whispers. I followed the sound into the dark heart of the forest. There, I saw Peter Pan and the shadow performing a dark ritual. Peter stood before an ancient stone altar, surrounded by the Lost Boys, who now seemed like lifeless husks. The shadow whispered malevolent incantations, and I hid, listening in horror. I learned that Peter Pan's eternal youth was not a gift of magic, but a dark pact with the shadow. The shadow was a demonic entity, feeding on the souls of children Peter lured to Neverland. Each soul consumed by the shadow allowed Peter to remain young and immortal. I was horrified. Peter was not the carefree boy I had thought. He was a puppet, bound to the shadow. He would never grow up because he sustained his youth through the sacrifice of other children's pure souls. I had to stop this, to save the innocent children. I sneaked back to our hideout and found the small silver locket my mother had given me, said to protect against evil. Armed with the locket, I returned to the altar, ready to confront Peter and the shadow. When the shadow tried to consume my soul, I held up the locket, its light piercing through the darkness. The shadow screamed and dissipated, and for a brief moment, Peter's face showed a hint of relief. The light dispelled the darkness, and the Lost Boys regained their senses. Neverland began to crumble. In his final moment, Peter grabbed my hand and whispered, "Thank you, Wendy. You have freed me." He aged rapidly before turning to dust. My brothers and I were swept back to our home in London by a powerful force. From that day on, I never spoke of Neverland. Peter Pan would never grow up because his youth was built on the pain and sacrifice of countless children. And I, Wendy Darling, will forever carry this dark secret, guarding the souls that Peter Pan once harmed.